Thanks for staying with us on KREM 2 News at 6:30. I'm Tom Sherry.
And I'm Mark Hanrahan. Whitney is on assignment tonight. Washington State is moving closer to that goal of 70% of people initiating vaccination against COVID-19. Initiating vaccination, of course, means that a person has received at least one shot of the COVID vaccine.
So, of course, if we hit that goal, the state will reopen early. But here in Spokane County, we're actually lagging behind that statewide average. And one age demographic is far behind their older counterparts across the state. Our Ian Smay is in the newsroom tonight with more from local health leaders on what's behind these lower vaccination rates.
The state as a whole is sitting at 64.25% of people with at least one COVID-19 vaccine shot. But one of the youngest demographics both here in Spokane County and across Washington is getting vaccinated at a much lower rate as the state tries to reopen earlier than Governor Jay Inslee's June 30th deadline. Washington is just about 2 weeks away from the full reopening date of June 30th set by Governor Jay Inslee. But if we hit 70% of people initiating vaccination before then, the state will reopen earlier. The state is inching closer, but Spokane County is lagging behind. As you can see by this graph, Washington State is getting close to that 70% mark, sitting at 64.25%. Spokane County is more than 10% behind that, sitting at 52.37% according to the latest Washington Department of Health data. And when you look at the county's vaccinations by age, one group stands out as being lower than the rest. Only 33.3%, a third of people aged 18 to 29, have started the vaccination process. The next lowest rate for adults in Spokane County is among those 40 to 49, which is 48.6%. Spokane's interim health officer, Dr. Francisco Velasquez, says it likely comes down to making the vaccine convenient.
But I do believe that some of that is because for that particular group, it needs to be accessible, it needs to be convenient, and we need to highlight the importance of the vaccine in a way that is made a priority.
He also said the emphasis on vaccinating older, higher risk populations is also likely behind the lower rate. The problem isn't just one we're seeing in Spokane, it's a trend taking place statewide. According to the data from the State Department of Health, a little more than half of people 18 to 34 have gotten at least one shot. The next lowest is among those 35 to 49, which sits at 63.3%, both far away from the 65 and up vaccination rate of more than 80%. One issue happening across the country when it comes to vaccines is a lack of demand to keep up with a surplus of supply, putting some doses at risk of expiring. But Velasquez says this isn't an issue we're seeing locally.
No, we've been very judicious with our utilization of vaccines, and we order based on utilization and need. So we do know how much we have. We're going to have to order based on the clinics that we have scheduled. So we've been very judicious with that, and we don't see that excess.
We also reached out to Providence and Multicare to ask about any issues with vaccines going to waste. We haven't heard back from Multicare, but Providence says they haven't seen this issue either. One way that Washington has tried to get more people vaccinated is through incentives such as the vaccine lottery. So far, one person has won $250,000 as part of the lottery. Velasquez says he thinks it's one factor in helping people get vaccinated.
I think it has increased the number of inquiries we get about immunization, but I do believe that the information that is out there, not only about the lottery, but all of these other things that are we're doing and that are happening around the community, is what's motivating people to do it.
This isn't the only incentive we've seen locally. Groups have put on events to encourage vaccination. Some examples include vaccine happy hours. From 5 to 7 p.m. this Thursday, people getting vaccinated at the Spokane Arena mass vaccination site will be offered ice cream from local shop The Scoop. Brick West Brewing held an event where those getting vaccinated could buy beer for $1 at the brewery. Mark Starr, the owner of David's Pizza, has held events where he gives out free slices of pizza to those getting vaccinated at the local mass vaccination site. Spokane Pride has also offered vaccine clinics to get the LGBTQ community vaccinated. All of this in an effort to reopen sooner, and Velasquez says it will also be important for reopening safely.
Our goal is to get 70% minimum. If we can get more than that, that would be great, of the Spokane County population. And the reason for that is it will give us better options in terms of potential transmission as we're decreasing the number of hosts.
It's not just the private sector either. Spokane Public Schools has worked to get teachers and students vaccinated, and at a meeting last month, the district said it had gotten at least 2,000 shots into arms. There's another vaccine event coming up here in the Spokane area later this week. Apex Cannabis says it is hosting an event as part of the state's Joints for Jabs program this Thursday and Friday at its Apex Plaza location on North Division. Those who schedule an appointment in advance will be given a 25% discount on their purchase at the store following their shot, and those that walk in will get a 15% discount. In the newsroom, Ian Smay, KREM 2 News.
Well,